How's it going? Wooden Spoon Supercoach here. I do still, in fact, exist. Just a lot of shit going on outside of Supercoach stuff. Scored myself a 12-12 this week. I think that is right around par. I've seen a handful of 1300 scores, bunch of 1200s, couple of 11s. So I think those are the three sort of tiers of scores this week. If you've got a 1200, you're doing fine. 1300, very good. 1100, probably going to see some red arrows, but of course that depends on where you are in the rankings. I think 12-12, I don't think that's enough for me to stay in the top 1,000. I'm 800th right now, so hopefully I can stay in triple figures, but we'll see. Starting off with this absolute bed shit of a game from the Seagulls. Somehow Lehigh Hopewadi managed to get an 87. This guy is just... He was so close to being pod of the year for me. If he got just even a handful of tries over these first 7 rounds, he would have been one of the best centre wings to have. Just hasn't gone that way. Even when Manly are doing well, I think he's only scored like 1 or 2 tries this season. So, still going to hold him. Still got a little bit of money to make, but realistically I'm holding him for the Origin period. I think Manly are going to carve up some teams that are starless, although I have been pretty confident about Manly to start the year, and it just hasn't turned out that way. So yeah, fuck. Ben Trebojevic doing a little bit better. Toby Couchman is becoming a serious option. No, he's not. He's too expensive. Missed the boat there. Look, maybe if you wanted to bring him in for Origin cover, let's have a look at how he covers. These tables will all be available in the description. They are so handy. I've kept updating them as I haven't been uploading. So Couchman, we want the Dargans. So he doesn't play round 12, which is tough. Does play all round 16, but the minor buys are going to be pretty easy. And his draw's pretty good through Origin. Although, with all the Origin stars out, you could pretty much say any matchup is a lot easier. So, take that with a pinch of salt. He could be a good trade-in for round 13. As long as you're good for 16 cover. I am. I've got 16 players at the moment, as you can see down here. But at the price, it would be a bit of a weird move. It'd be a different move if you think, if we see one of the Dragons forwards get picked for Origin, we could see his minutes go up. I'm not sure if he's playing 80 minutes in his position, but there's a world where he's a good option. Homoli with another lackluster score. I think Manly are just clocked off, I think. We've got a Penrith bye, Sharks, and for the Sharks game, Turbo should be back. I think, like, realistically as a team, you can't give your all every game. Everyone loves to think if they were a footy player that every single game they'd give their all. It's just not realistic. Like, I love playing Supercoach, and I would love to do this as a job one day, but if I sat and did Supercoach all day, every day, I would get so fucking sick of it, and it's exactly the same as footy. And then on top of that, you put in the Cherry Evans shit and the Turbo injury. This team is just a little bit deflated, and I think once we come off the bye, if we don't see a significant improvement with Turbo back, then that's alarm bells. But comps aren't won this early in the year, so it's all good. Pretty much all of the good teams have had 40 plus put on them. So it's not panic stations yet with Manly, but it's certainly not fucking ideal. I'm starting to think about selling Garrick. He's going to lose a lot of cash. He's still worth a lot. He is very valuable cover over the Origin period, though. As you can see, Manly play all the majors. One of the minors, but whatever. And pretty good draw in there as well. If we see Turbo not get picked for Origin, amazing pod. People are going to be too scared to bring him in, but we know what Turbo can do. He's a freak. And playing against the Titans, Para, Broncos, Newcastle, Gold Coast, that wouldn't be something I want to miss. The only risk here would be, if he doesn't get picked, it'd be round 12, and that would be amazing cover, because round 12's the tricky one. But then there's a good chance, if he does well in these games, that he then gets picked for the next game of Origin. So we could see him out for the Newcastle and Gold Coast games. But yeah, something to keep an eye on there. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Low scores. Jake Trbojevic with an 8. I'm pretty sure he went off, but he hasn't been a Supercoach option for a while. Good to see Tommy Talau back. Sione Fainu only getting a couple of minutes in with that head knock. I feel like a couple of people might own him from his performance in the trials. 3% of teams, so Not super relevant. Unlucky if you went him as a pod. Now, this is why I didn't buy Gutherson. He has these big scores in him, but I don't think he's that consistent. He is consistent, and he's a great player, but I don't think he's quite as good as everyone was hyping him up to be. I still think Pappenhausen was the better pick. I think since that choice was made, Gutho is scoring higher, but I think in terms of a long-term keep, I really think Pappenhausen's the better one, as long as he stays fit. Jacob Little's an interesting option at hooker. He's got a little bit of money to drop from 500k, so I quite like that. What's his average looking like? Average of 44. Okay, maybe he's not that good. A little bit of rocks and diamonds. He'd still be better than Pakes, but I have some plans around moving Pakes on that I'll share with you after we've gone over all the games. I'm spending a little bit too much time here. Let's get through these games. Max King with an 112. Huge. I don't hate bringing him in for an Origin gun if they have some decent cover, which they do. Bulldogs also play all the majors, but they do have 2 buys in there. Pretty close to each other. Both minors, so whatever. But yeah, I am a Max King advocate if you want to bring him in for Origin cover. He's good. Same goes for Preston, Curran, Kiraz. All of these guys, great options. Kiraz I wanted to get in, but I wanted to see how he went a little bit first. Obviously, these scores look great, but it was 32-0. So these are the kind of scores we can expect when the Bulldogs score 30 points, which isn't super common. And they're not going to come up against someone as defensively shit as the Rabbitohs all the time. But yeah, I can't discourage you from going any of these guys. I'm not planning on getting Curran in over the Origin period. It's probably the first time in the last 3 or 4 years I haven't put him in. He's got that nice duel. He's nice and consistent. He scores tries occasionally. I really like it. This Jack Todd guy. Negative break even. He's going to make some money. I can't remember if this is his first. Yeah, he's played 2 games, so next week he changes. We will talk about him as a downgrade option for a couple of players later. Hubner, starting to be a little bit lackluster. Still scoring over his break even, so he's not a trade out straight away. But he is peaking, I think, and I don't know if any of the Souths forwards are going to make it in Origin. I don't think so. I don't know if there's going to be minutes to fill for Hubner over the Origin period. He's getting close to peaking, and realistically, I don't hate downgrading Hubner to Jack Todd this week if you need to free up some cash. Ewan Aitken bottoming out is interesting. If he gets down to high 400s, he was really good for me last year when he was playing at the Dolphins, and he's a really good player. He's only played 1 round, so let's see what happens next week, see how much money he drops. On his 3rd game, we can have a look at him if he's bottomed out at that point. Interesting pod. How are the Rabbitohs for Origin cover? They miss round 12, which is tough, and they miss round 19. So maybe you could bring him in, again, round 13, and he covers this nice big middle section here. These tables are so handy. Whenever you're thinking of a player, just have this open in a tab, flick over to it, see what cover they do, and that could be the difference between you making that decision or not. As for South's options, Totola top scoring at 53. Latrell Mitchell with another low score, so he's played 2 rounds. Break even of 148. If you went early on him, that really sucks, but at least you've got him in and you don't have to think about it. Hopefully he doesn't get picked for Origin. He probably will. He's just one of those guys where even if he's playing shit, they just throw a blue jersey on him anyway, and he still kills it. So I'm sorry that I keep going back to this, but it's getting close now. We really need to start thinking about it. So we'll have to look closer at teams' draws, and I'll make that a separate video, looking at which teams are most likely to back up based on what day they play after the Origin game. Bring him in as a pod for the round 13 and 16 games. If he played round 19 as well, I'd be more likely to get him in if they have a good draw for him backing up. I think it's starting to look like Latrell's a bit more of a run-home player. If we see him start to score better. He hasn't been at fullback yet, so just let him bottom out. Not too keen on him at the moment. I think that's all the relevance there. Moving on to this upset. This makes Manly's current form hurt a lot less. Isaiah Katoa, 524k, averaging 61. I was actually quite high on him at the start of the year. You'll remember me calling him a pod option at the start of the year. My God, I wish I went for him. I'd be coming first. He is killing it. I think we're starting to see... My point was that for the last couple of years, he's kind of just learnt his control of the team, just the nuts and bolts of it, and now he's starting to get a bit more attacking flair, which is exactly what we want to see. This kid is going to be potentially the next Cleary. I know it's not fair to put that kind of expectation on him, but he's so young and he's improving so much so quickly. Do the Dolphins cover well? 2 majors, 2 minors, so they're about average. He misses 13, he plays 12, which is good. Misses 18, which is one of the easier ones in terms of the major buys. Hines to Isaiah Katoa. I don't hate it. What's their draw looking like up until Origin? Where are you, Dolphins? Just played Melbourne, Canberra, Sydney, Para, New Zealand. Okie dokie. I think I'm getting Isaiah Katoa in this week. Freeing up some cash for Nico. Get rid of Hubner for Jack Todd. Maybe boost in another gun, because that's going to free up heaps of cash. I can't find anything wrong with that. We'll play around with that later. Herbie Farmworth, starting to get some more Herbie Farmworth scores. I've never seen a dude more keen to score a try in my fucking life over the last few weeks. He was gagging for it. And that finish where he like dived into the fucking air to score that try, that would have hurt, man. But yeah, we're starting to see him uptick along with Isaiah Katoa. I think the Dolphins are going to go on a run. They've just got a bunch of confidence thumping the competition favourites. I'm putting that in my trade planner right now so I don't forget. And that would be my third boost if I do that. Nice. Nothing else too relevant for the Dolphins other than Max Plath scoring a 15. He must have got a head knock or something. He doesn't score 15s very often. And here's a bit more of a popular option, so that's a shame if you have him. How's Jack Howarth doing? I feel like he's been flying under the radar. He's pretty much the same price that he started at, so you get what you pay for with him, I suppose. Eli Katoa going low. Not low enough to make him go down in money, but it slows his increase a little bit. Think we've missed the boat on him, but in saying that, I feel like that Jerome Hughes and Katoa combination could get pretty deadly over the Origin period. Something to look at. Maybe if you're a Hines owner and you're wanting to upgrade, go to Jerome Hughes. If you're wanting to downgrade, go to Isaiah Katoa. I can't imagine that's a move many people would have the balls to do in halfback, but I'm going to do it. I need that point of difference to get me up towards the top end of the top 1K. Munster, doing okay in a team that didn't perform that great. That's fine. Sean Bloor, who was an interesting option at the start of the year, roughly the same price, got a little bit of money to make. I don't know, is the Storm are too good for Origin cover? Yeah, they don't play 12 and they don't play 15, so nah. Pappenhausen with an 80. Pretty good. His break-even's still 18, so he's going to get up towards 800k. And this is exactly why I thought Pappenhausen was the better option. We see his team not do very well and he scores an 80, and then we see Gutherson's team not score very well and he scores a 50. And that adds up over time. Moving on to the Warriors Broncos. Payne Haas, just doing what he does, 85. I was tossing up between the captaincy on him and Terrell May. Obviously, Terrell May was later in the week, so I went with him. And playing the Eels, I thought he was much more likely to score his first try of the year, which he did. So I'm pretty happy with that. This Halasima guy, bit of hype around him. 1 break even. I'll have to look into his job security a little bit more. I don't know if we're just starting to notice him because of that one big score. 20, 20, 40, 53, 44. Did we see a minute increase there? Yeah, slightly. If we see these minutes continue to go up, then we're going to see his price continue to go up with him. He's going to be a tricky one to get in at the right time, but he is an option if you're confident in him. Metcalf, glad I sold. 56 is fine. It's just boring, and we know he can hit 12s. So if you haven't sold him, maybe go him to Isaiah Katoa if you've got the jewels. That'd be a nice trade. And not a whole lot more relevant here. Shibasaki, I'm glad He got a 55. That's like okay, but I did sell him. So as long as he didn't go hit a ton, I'm happy with that. I think he's peaked. He needs to score a try to catch up with that break even, and he just might not. He's a center. He's not a winger. He could still get a couple of try assists and get some big scores, but I think we're happy with the money he's made us so far. So if you want to get rid of him, I don't hate it. Reece Walsh just continues to be lackluster. He's down at 600k. Right. He also doesn't play 12 and 15, so he's not an Origin cover pick if he doesn't get picked for Origin. I feel like we might even see Brimo at fullback for Queensland. Like, Walsh just gets ragdolled against New South Wales. Ponga's been lackluster. He's probably the most likely, but I feel like Brimo or something is more likely than Walsh. Anyway, not relevant. Corey Pakes with a 27. That's fine. He's 400k now, so he's made a decent bit of money. I think it's time for him to go. Projected price change of minus 500. I think he's peaked. So time to sell him, and then he'll score a double next week, and I'll cry. Jesse Arthur's with a 45. Also sold him recently. I think he peaked. I think I sold him for closer to 600k, if I remember correctly. So got that one right as well. I've been so lucky with just the decisions I've made. They have been very educated decisions, but I've still gotten very lucky, as my rank reflects. Cool, that's all for that game. Roosters, Penrith. This is why we don't sell Cleary. There it is, 116. He's back. He's going to go to Origin, but, like, yes, the Panthers aren't what they were, but Cleary's still the player he was. He just needs the players around him to make less errors so that they can get that field position and those attacking stats. But yeah, I won't be selling Cleary at all. Isaiah Yeo, I think he got an attacking stat in there to get up to that 72. It was looking a little bit bleak at the start, but Isaiah Yeo, nice and consistent. James Tedesco with a 65. I brought him in this week because the money worked, and with the players' break-evens I was moving around, I wouldn't have been able to get him in next week, so I was fully prepared to get a 35 from him. So 65 against the Panthers, who put 40 on him. That is great. It's always been the plan to get Teddy in for Origin because he's head and shoulders above all the other fullbacks that'll be available. Just find a way to get him in. Toya with a 58. That's nice. So we'll see his cash rise, get a little bit more of a kickstart as well. Won't be selling him. He's very important Origin cover, as can be said for any Roosters, Sea Eagles or Bulldogs. Probably don't go selling anyone from those three teams, unless they're proper shitting the bed. Jenkins with a 38, that's fine. How's his cash gen going? He's already up at 400k, Jesus Christ. Panthers have terrible Origin cover, I think. Okay, to start, they're alright, with a very good draw there for the first 4 games. Doesn't play 15 or 18, so 15, it is time to get rid of Jenkins. Let's stick that in the trade planner. He could be very expensive up there. Up towards that round. Who else we got here? Blaze Talangi scored his first try. That was nice to see. Getting a little bit of joy there. Casey McLean, if you held him. Can't imagine very many people did. Still in 8% of teams. So you deserve that if you had him for that head knock. Dylan Edwards has come back. Nice and strong. He's actually hit that break even, which is wild. He could be a sneaky pot option for these 4 games as well. But you would have to... No, what am I saying? He plays Origin. Scratch that. Next game, Titans Raiders. Tino, not much to say here, just doing what he does. De Groot scoring a 50 is massive. I was pretty nervous about playing him, and I did get it wrong playing him over Toya, but it was only a 7-point difference in the end, so I'm very happy with that. So yeah, I brought him in at the right time as well. I keep falling ass first into making the right decisions. 20, 30, 30, 50. Good shit. Tamale. I really would have thought Tamale would be up well over this price by now, so I'm not too upset that I missed him. He has had some big scores though. So I'm guessing he's got a little bit of a rocks or diamonds kind of thing going on. Hudson Young. This annoys me because I wanted to bring him in this week for Corey Horsburgh, and I might still be able to do it, but he's projected to go up 75 fucking K, and he's gonna quickly get out of reach. He might play Origin, and back up and play some smaller minutes. It's going to be tough to get him in, but I want him. I really want him. He's a fucking beast. Corey Horsburgh, just chugging along nicely. He's nearly peaked. So a few weeks ago, Whisperer was saying that we should start thinking about selling him. I was like, that's crazy talk. Hold him. He's good Origin cover, blah, blah, blah. But if you can move him to Hudson and Hudson doesn't get picked for Origin, that is a great move. And I think we are getting to the point where Horsburgh is starting to peak. He will need a try to re-energize that cash growth. Tarpany is also a nice option. Very expensive. We'll let him bottom out a bit. And Matty Nicholson, also peaked. So maybe if you wanted to keep Horse because he's got the duel, Matty Nicholson, it could be time to go as well. But he does have some good scores in his rolling average, I'm pretty sure. So 43, 70, 91. The 91's about to drop out. Yeah, I think it's time to sell Nicholson as well. Thing is with selling these Raiders guys, they're great cover. So either try and trade them to another Raider or to a Seagull, Bulldog, or Rooster. And as long as you do that, you don't have to check how it's going to affect your team during Origin. It's a good move because those three teams play all the major buys. Cool, moving on. Sharks Knights. Ponga's starting to really fucking do my head in. 46. Thing is with Ponga, right? If he doesn't get picked for Origin, he's up there with a Tedesco level of option for the Origin cover games. Because against starless teams, he could absolutely carve up. But I think he probably still will get the maroon jersey. And I think he could be a trade. He just has not been it. I don't know how I've had him in my team since the start of it. He's under 600k. Oh, God. And he's got 105 break even. Fuck. That's a head scratcher. I think I might need to get rid of him. The thing is with Ponga and Scott Drinkwater, they are the only two players that play 7 games over the Origin period instead of 6. So maybe a Ponga to a Drinky could be a good plan. Let's see how the Cowboys go for cover. They don't play 12, that's rough. And then they play the rest. So maybe Ponga, we can look to get rid of him in round 13 for Drinky. Or another fullback that has decent amount of games after that. Anyway, fucking hell. Under 600k with an 100 break even. Jesus Christ. One thing to mention with Ponga. If you've held him to this point, I think it's worth continuing to hold because he's got New Zealand at home. Sorry, New Zealand away, Souths away. Then he's got Gold Coast and Para at home. And they leak points. So even if the Knights themselves aren't doing well, Ponga can still score some serious points there. I will be trading him out, but I would like to keep him for these 2 games because I don't know if people have the patience to hold up to here. And then if he explodes, he's only going to explode for a small percentage of people that kept him. So just keep that in mind if you're thinking about selling him. Nico Hines, this week this is a decent score. Like other than Cleary, none of the halfbacks went too crazy. But it's just not that sexy, is it? He's losing cash. He's got the Tigers coming up, so we'll definitely keep him for that. I don't think he's bad enough to sell, but he's not good enough to buy. I think if you've got him, just hold. Adam Fanua-Blake, I want to try and get him in for Origin, and he will be a keeper. My plan for the rest of the year is literally stack the pack. I don't give a shit about centre wing. I want Haas, I want May, I want Adden, I want Tino, I want Olakau'atu, Eli Katoa, Isaiah Yeo, and the cost of that is going to be having lackluster centre wings. But that's fine. I want consistency in my team. It's kind of a boring strategy. You're not chasing those ceilings, but just having a bunch of really high floor guys. I think that's the way to go this year. And evidently it is because I'm in the top 1,000. Thomas Cant doing well for the cheapie. He's already up to 400k. That's huge. Break even of 21. He's going to make us some good money. Greg Marzhew obviously going huge. Negative 13 break even. He'll be 600k. Could be a good time to bring him in. I know I just said that I don't want to bring centre wings in, but he has the Tigers next. No, he doesn't. I'm thinking of the Sharks. New Zealand next. They concede points. Souths concede points. Greg Marzhew's a good buy, if you can find a way to do it. And that is all for that game. Tigers Eels. This was a thoroughly entertaining game. Taylor May got his first try of the year, 102. Very lucky there. That didn't save my week, but it made it like an upper end of average week rather than a bit of a lackluster week. Everyone's got him, so we don't need to go over that too much. Mitchell Moses, break even of 35. How many games has he played? Okay, that was his first game of the year. I thought he might have played one and then got injured, but maybe... Okay, he's got the bye next round, so we'll keep that in mind, but we get a bye out of the way before he changes price, which is nice. And the Eels do look better, and it would be a serious pod move to start bringing in Eels guns, because I don't think many people have a whole lot of faith in them. This Sharks game will be tough. That'll be his second game. Then before his price changes, we can bring him in round 10 for the Dolphins at home, Newcastle away. Then we move into the Origin period. How do the Eels cover? 1 major, 3 minors. Okay. It is the two majors he misses are the less tricky ones. So I'd need to make a move to make it work. I'd be 1 player down if I was to bring him in. And round 18's okay. I can afford to lose 1 there. Canberra without some of their forwards who will probably play Origin. Manly without Cherry Evans and maybe Turbo. Penrith are beatable this year. Bulldogs is tough. Gold Coast, St. George, Penrith again. It's a big pod move, but I like it. It's the time of the year where early in the year you don't want to go too different because you want to get your cheapies right. Generally the high-owned cheapies are the good ones. This is the time of year where you want to start moving a bit different, and I think Moses is a good way of doing that. And I'm going to stick him in my trade planner as a consideration. That 100's going to boost his initial cash rise pretty good, but it is also the first one to fall out, so we'll keep an eye on him. Josh Adokar had a good game. I don't think he's a great Supercoach option. We need to see a little more from him, consistency-wise. Iongi doing well again. What's he up to? 500k. So he was a good cheapie in the end if you kept him. Simonson looked fucking electric. I'm sorry if you can hear that banging. I don't know what that is. Apologies if you can hear that. Tuolungi had a good game. Still don't like him as an option. I think he's rocks or diamonds. Yeah, not a whole lot going on at the Eels outside of Mitch Moses. For the Tigers, Seyfarth with a 46 scoring a try is a little lackluster. Jerome Luai, not an option. Yeah, not a lot. Not a lot to go over here. And that is it. Shut up, cunt. I've just realised the cropping for the tables through that whole video is kind of shit, but I'm too lazy to fix it. If you want to go look at them, they'll be in the description. As for the prize pool, so this week I doubled the budget because I've been away. So the budget was $30, and Metamorphosis, Old Faithful, was the only one to comment, so he got 6 $5 bets. If you ever see an empty comment section, get in there because you'll get all the budget to yourself. So Metamorphosis picked a bunch of try scorers with a J theme going on. He started off with Jacob Little. So that's $33-ish to the prize pool straight away. Well done, dude. No luck with Karaz, Tedesco. Jaden Campbell got voided, so that's another $5. And then Adokar as well. So if I do some quick math, Metamorphosis has added $50 to the prize pool this week. He is pulling way ahead, and I don't think anyone's going to catch him. So I'm wondering, Metamorphosis, you're probably watching this. Let me know. Do you want me to just pay you out now, and we'll start again? Because I do want to make it so that anyone can win, and then you get a nice little bit of cash. I think you've made about $80. So if you're in agreement, I'm happy to round that up to 100, and then we'll reset the prize pool. And now that everyone kind of knows how it works, it's a little bit more fair. So if you'd like to do that, feel free to let me know in the comments along with your bets for the week. And anyone else, if you don't know how it works, anyone can leave a comment of a bet. I will put it on, and if it wins, that will then get added to the prize pool. And as I've been recording, the Supercoach scores have just come in. Fuck. Yeah, out of the top 1k. Ouch. It's alright though, because if we have a look at my team, it is fucking stacked. Like, look at that. Hooker's a bit boring, but Payne Haas, Terrell May, Corey Horsburgh, Isaiah Yeo, Olakwatu, Tino, Nicholson, Adam Fanua-Blake is going to be traded in this week. Good in the halves, good in the 5/8s. Centre wing, bit boring, but it's doing the job. And then we've got 3 gun fullbacks. So I'm pretty confident I'll find my way back towards the top 100 with a bit of luck on my side. Anyway, that's all for the round wrap up. I'm going to do a couple more videos in this bootleg style. Hopefully I can get back to my PC soon and actually have a professional setup. I've found the audio quality is better when I record on my laptop, so I think I need to upgrade the mic when I get back. But yeah, leave your bets in the comments. Budget's back to $15 this week. And keep an eye out for some more Origin Plan videos coming out very soon. Appreciate you guys. Leave a like and subscribe. Uru. Before I go, I just want to clarify. When I say reset the prize pool, I don't mean the prize pool. I just mean the contributions made towards it. So Metamorphosis is winning at $80. Second place is under 20. So if we reset that, Metamorphosis gets a nice bit of money and everyone can have another crack at taking it out for the end of the year. Just wanted to clarify that. And with Metamorphosis efforts this week, the prize pool is up over $200 now. So we're getting there. It's looking juicy. That's all. Hooroo again. Bye-bye.